Hello, welcome to Daily Devotions. My name is Red Mooneygull, and you are watching Daily Devotions with Red Mooneygull. And this is the recording for the winter solstice, or Mabon. I do encourage you to follow the link that will be in the description below and look up the podcast that Safriana and I did about the Wheel of the Year if you have questions. The cards I drew today are very specific to the energy of Mabon right now, and I'm going to read a little bit about the cards and then we're going to talk about them. So the first card I drew is from the Isis Oracle deck, and this one came through is Life Restored. Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you. Whatever part of you or your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transformation from death to life, so too will you rise again, healed and renewed. Life Restored brings messages that trauma, ending, and struggle or apparent defeat is not the end of the story. What may appear to be an ending can sometimes simply be the forces of ancient feminine power flowing through into new pathways, pulling energy away from the old forms so that they can transition into new forms. This can take short or long periods of time, or it can be over days or years, months and decades. It doesn't matter how long something appears to have been decaying. It will spring back to life at the right time. Okay, I'm going to come back to this one. And then the second card was from the Sacred Rebels deck. And this card was 43, Come to Life. You are the most sacred of all sacred artworks. You are bringing yourself to life now, and this is how it must be. Of course, something being essential doesn't mean it will always be easy. You must support yourself and have courage during the process. Your monkey mind is not running the show, or should not be running the show. It might have a lot to say at times and can seem very convincing, but it's not the only one in charge. Your mind can inspire you with ideas. However, it is the real you that speaks through your rebellious sacred heart and is living your life, not the monkey mind. The mind is not much more than a swirling cacophony of habitual reactions. I'm going to come back to that. The next card is from the Musule Oracle of Souls, and this is the Keeper of Whispers. The madman is known as the Keeper of Whispers and dwells in the hollow below the Valley of Saints. Save for his rare moments of lucidity, he spends his days scrawling the full and complete history of mankind in an indecipherable scrawl that no one but he can read, which he cannot explain even if anyone were willing to listen to his ravings. And the key word here is forbidden knowledge, and I'm going to come back to that. And the final card of this Mabon draw is Women Supporting Women. Together we can transcend our individual limitations. Women who share their weaknesses, struggles, and shame, as well as their joy, victories, and opportunities, support each other's life journey. Together, women have the potential to strengthen each other and overcome challenges to rise much higher than is individualistically possible. By sharing one another's lives, we come to know ourselves. We experience what it is to see and be seen, speak and be heard, to understand and to be understood, and this evolves us. When people connect to their divine inner feminine, they bear witness, nurture, and support one another. Mutual love and raised frequency occurs. The divine feminine consciousness connects and supports us and helps us realize our fullest potential, power, and wisdom. Women Supporting Women offers a life-changing moment when they can hold loving space and support each other in response to an individual unburdening herself of shame-filled secrets. Therefore, potentially loving safety generated by women supporting women nurtures and nourishes our spirit as well as enriches our lives. And empowering one another, we empower ourselves. So, sorry, I'm looking for something. Oops, okay. So this card right here is what's driving the Mabon cards. Interestingly enough, I drew this one first, but I wanted to read it last because when I look at the other cards, it brings a very powerful message forward. When we are living in the paradigm of forbidden knowledge, when we live in the paradigm of fear, in a culture where men are trying to take away our rights, when there are other groups of women even saying that we should not be standing in our power, it can feel as though this is risky, that this is forbidden, that this is some, what's the word I'm looking for? Super secret thing that we're doing, and we're not. We're looking for equity. We're looking for justice. We are looking for equality. We are looking for inclusion and justice and the things that you want in the world for you to be able to make these choices. And right now, it can seem like there's something forbidden, there's something dangerous that we're doing coming together. And one of the things that Mabon, it's the final fall festival, and it's also the time where traditionally women were in many indigenous cultures around the world. Women knew that women coming together had power. And in many cultures, the women coming together in that power is what created the equity in some of those cultures, not all cultures. And I understand that humanity has a rich history of subjugating one group of people after another, othering anybody that's different. And Mabon is the final fall festival, the middle fall festival, prior to Samhain, which is the final fall and the beginning of the darkest time of the year. And Mabon is the festival of harvest of wheats and grains, and it's the time to come together. It's the traditional Thanksgiving. The one that in our Western culture says is in November would have been here at the Equinox in September. It would have been at the Equinox. It would have been at a time where you could come together, get a lot of hard work done, and it's one of the final pushes, the Thanksgiving festival of harvest and family and coming together before the cold sets in, before the frosts, before the harvests that come after the frosts. And right now in our world, there's a lot of stuff bubbling up, and there's a lot of divisiveness. And one of the things that I want you to take out into the world through this Mabon season, which is, don't be afraid of the forbidden knowledge. Don't be afraid of that forbidden fruit that they say we don't deserve as women. We don't deserve equity, or we don't deserve rights to our body, or we don't deserve. We need to stick together as women and as community. And one of the things that bubbled up with this is, you are the most sacred of artworks. Support yourself and have courage and have purpose. Really lean into the strengths of who you are fundamentally as a woman. One of the things that, I don't want to sound uninclusive here, because I really want us to be inclusive of all people who identify with that women energy. And biologically, some women have the ability to produce life. They have the ability to hold life in their womb. Not all women who identify as women, and that's okay. But that does not mean that feminine energy is not within us all. I think all men have the potential to connect in with their feminine. I believe that all women have the ability to connect into their masculine. We are not as singularly lined up in one thread as our Western patriarchal, very heavily influenced by puritanical belief systems, colonial belief systems, and we don't have to buy into that paradigm. We can buy into the inclusiveness. And come to life is embracing all of that feminine energy within you, masculine, whether you identify as male or female, coming to life and really embracing the beauty of your body, the beauty of your spiritual entity living in your meat suit, how you feel in your body. Embrace all of it. You are beautiful, you are unique, and you are magnificent just as you are. And then Life Restored brings us back to coming into this waking up into your own power and doing it in a community together with acceptance. This is not forbidden knowledge. So do you see how they all come together? You are this amazing work of art. You have this body gifted to you by Earth herself, by the goddess. And when we come into harvest, we can look at the fruits of the earth and connect more into her, as we should be connecting into her all the time. And then looking at this world is so full of these things that we think are forbidden, we think are awful, that we think are not good. And they teach us all about the disharmony to come into harmony with others, to come into harmony with community. And I know I talk about it a lot on this channel. I talk a lot about that community piece, coming into connection with those around you, coming into connection and leaning into one another. Community is so important. I do these daily devotions, and I'm one person by myself in front of a camera. And one of the most blessed things that the universe has brought me is the ability to connect in with podcasters such as Safriana and authors, and connect in with a community that can bring you this sense of connection no matter where you are in the world, no matter how far away you are. And Mabon is this harvest of understanding and connection in with the earth and with each other. So going into the Mabon season, this particular equinox, because of such divisiveness in the world, because of all of this tug and pull and us against them, go out, be in community, do something with those that make sure you're safe. I want to say this, make sure you're safe, but go do something with a community of people. Be safe when you're doing it. And I understand that not everybody would feel safe doing something like that, but maybe go dancing, maybe go to a harvest festival, maybe go to a farmer's market and talk to somebody you wouldn't normally have talked to. And be yourself, be authentic, and be safe, and connect and show your beautiful light. Show your beautiful light to the world and connect in and share. If you're politically active, great. Look up your local League of Women Voters. It's an organization that's been involved in politics since before women had the right to vote. They're very active. Get involved. If you are interested in volunteering, find a domestic abuse shelter, a domestic violence shelter. If you are into making a difference, there are places to make a difference in every community. I know it's really hard when you live in rural communities. It may not seem like there is anything going on, but I promise you there's somebody that wants to do something just as much as you do, that wants to make a difference. And it's hard when you are living in rural communities, especially in Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota. It can feel like you're very isolated. But there's always someone to connect with. And Mabon is about community and connecting and supporting one another. And we need that energy to take us through into November out in the real world. We need this connection, and we need this vitality and this appreciation of each other. And it's not forbidden. There's no madness in believing and having hope. I had a conversation with a young person the other day, and they were like, it doesn't matter who I vote for. And I went, yeah, it kind of does. It may seem like it doesn't, but it does. And the only way we can change and turn things for the better is if we're involved. The apathy that you feel is real. And the disappointment and the fear and the shame, all of those shadowy emotions about what's going out in the world are real. And lean into who you are. This spiritual entity living in this physical meat suit has a purpose. Lean into the transformational process. Lean into the wheel of the year. Lean into Earth herself. You're living in a meat suit she gave you. Access that power. It is there. All you have to do is tap into it and connect. Connect in safety. Connect without judgment. Connect without shame, fear, disappointment. And it's okay if you feel those things. Just lean into the community support. When we pull together, we can do more than we can do by ourselves. It's very rare, and I know we see it in the media all the time, like the young lady from Norway or Sweden, I can't remember, Greta. It seems like when you see one person doing this big thing, right? A lot of media, there's a lot of social stuff that's driven in that one person's direction. It's more common to have change when you have a group of people work together. It's less sensational because there's not one person getting all of the hype. But in reality, in how the world works and how we can make it more equitable, it means we all pool together, and as a group, we raise each other up. It doesn't mean one person isn't maybe going to hit the fame button, but that fame button is pretty rare, considering it takes so many people even to make that one person's fame button go bright, right? Everybody talks about Taylor Swift. She has a team of people. If you listen to her, she talks about it. She couldn't do it by herself. She has to have a support network. She needs to have people around her. Anybody you think of that's this powerful, super powerful person at the top of the pile, they all have community behind them. Positive or negative, they all do. So if you want to make a difference, you have to be involved. And Mabon is about the thanksgiving of our connection to each other, Mother Earth, her ability to give us the fruits of our labors. And we could not have the fruits of those labors without each other. And she teaches us year after year after year the importance of connection through the seasons. So this Mabon, this fall equinox, I really encourage you to connect with others. Don't be alone in this. Reach out, connect, and give thanks for your body, your beautiful life, and the ability to connect with other people. No matter how alone you are, there is the potential to connect, and I encourage you to do so. Have a beautiful day. I love you, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.